All right, everyone. We are live with our weekly brunch show. I am here with Cody House. How are you, sir?
Howdy, you guys hear me?
Whoop. No, you're a little low there, Cody.
All right, I was
Sure.
using my headphones, so let me go ahead and
There you
get my
go.
mic.
It got a little better.
Is it
But
running through the sound bar?
while Cody, no, I think it's his audio. While Cody gets his sound situated, I'm also here with my lovely wife, Lindsay. Lindsay, how are you, ma'am?
I'm awake. I'm here.
Let me swing the mic over. All right. Yeah, we're awake. We're here. We late night watching movies. Like always, we're too old
How
to
about now?
party, go out. It's still a little. Say something again, Cody.
Hello.
Oh, there it goes.
There you go. There you go.
All right. Cool.
Leo. All right.
Cody is in stereo in here.
Yeah. I plugged.
Oh,
That
sorry.
makes- No, you're fine. That makes
You're okay. I just hope there's not feedback on our end because I plugged in my sound bar to my TV. So now you're like surround sound, Cody.
No, you're okay. I just was like, there's stuff going on in my house, so I was like, let me put my headphones on, and then I was like, oh, they might not hear me as well now that my headphones are in. So I guess I did have to get all plugged in.
Okay. Well, Cody, how are you, sir? How's your weekend been? Like,
Not bad, not bad. It's too short.
yeah,
Always.
yeah. Like I said, we've been staying cool. We finally drained our swimming pool, which was a task, and got it moved.
That's our ornamental
Yeah,
pond the rest of the year.
I mowed a little bit, baked my flesh. So today we're just gonna stay in and watch Stranger Things.
And hide from the sun.
And hide from the sun. We're gonna be vampires today. So
Oh, sounds like a great day. I will be working and going to a swim birthday party, so I won't be
A
away
swim-
from the sun.
Man.
oh man, yeah. You do get to swim though.
I'm not gonna swim because it's a child's birthday party, and I don't want like a bunch of small children splashing water on me.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a fun party.
Yeah.
I'll just
Our pool-
just be an old person and sit in the chair.
Hey, our pool is just big enough to it's about waist deep on me. So, you can get down in it and everyone can spread out, have their own little area, which is just it's nice. You can do some backstrokes on it. Not too big, but it is nice. We still got some scrubbing to do on it. Just not today. Anyway, yeah, we are wrapping up Star Wars month here.
May is finally ending.
May
I'm
is
pretty sure any day now it's gonna be over.
Yeah, we got 2 more days left.
I can't believe it, but we're getting into the summer of 1982, which will be fun. I'm excited for that. Lots of classics. Yeah.
It's summer.
It's summer, yeah. Heat. We are knocking on hell's door, people, in our area, and I'm just not looking forward to it.
Literally.
That's why you stay in and watch movies all summer. And then your excuse when it's fall is, well, we got to watch all the scary movies and the Christmas movies.
Well, that's another reason why I'm excited to get into summer, because I know leaving summer we go directly into Halloween. So I'm excited. Like I don't want to rush the year along. I want to I want to enjoy myself a little bit. But yeah, good stuff. We're gonna get a lot of good movies. But anyway, we're here to talk this morning. Hidden Fortress.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Yeah, still here.
Okay. I'm sorry. You froze, Cody.
Oh.
No, you're good. Let me close this out. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Anyway, we are talking Hidden Fortress, Akira Kurosawa. Am I saying that right? Yes.
Yep, that's his name.
I always, sometimes I flub that, and I don't. I try really hard.
You're supposed to practice before you get to the podcast on
right.
names.
Well, I've been flubbing it like all day. We're gonna watch the Akira Yojimbo. Yeah,
You're just naming titles of his movies.
No, it hasn't been that bad, but I do get his name flubbed sometimes, and then I get embarrassed because I'm like, no, man, I should know this. But
just as long as you're practicing, you're learning.
Anyway, not only was this an inspiration for Star Wars, it was oh man, I can't remember the dude's name. I'm just not on
you gotta spitball some works he's associated with then, so I can Google.
Yeah. Anyway, we are also celebrating Asian Islander
Pacific Islander month, yes.
Pacific Islander month. Thank you, Cody. Thank you.
So because of that, I felt like, why don't we talk about a Kurosawa film? Because I think I've said it a bunch already, but his work, and especially these samurai films, are a huge influence on the Star Wars franchise. I mean, they call this time period of most of these movies called Jediaki films. So what does that sound like?
Jedi, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, George Lucas, you little scamp.
Yeah, they're
in your favorite movies.
Yeah, there were lots. I mean, well, Obi. What's an Obi?
Obi-Wan Kenobi is very much Qui-Gon Jinn, and there's a lot of names that sound of Japanese.
Right. Even the saber fighting style are variations of.
Well, the fact that they're lightsabers instead of a blaster like every other person in the galaxies has.
And their robes they wear and their hoods, it looks very much like the garb a samurai would wear. The star of this movie, Toshiro Mifune, was originally who Lucas wanted to play Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That would have been. I honestly couldn't imagine anyone other than Sir Alec Guinness playing that role, but I could see him in that role. That would have been
that role.
Yeah, he's basically playing that role in this movie. He's basically Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah. But visually, I could see him in that setting of A New Hope.
Oh yeah.
Just in the robes and Ben's garb and stuff like that. I could see that.
I think this is going to hurt your feelings, but I think it might have made Star Wars an even better franchise.
Maybe we might have gotten. Maybe we had gotten better fight scenes.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't know if Darth Vader would have won.
We're picking this up a notch. Boom. Yeah, that would have been cool. That would have been cool.
Now, why didn't he get him for that role? I don't remember that.
I don't know the reason why Mifune turned it down. Maybe he just wasn't interested, or I don't know where he was at his point in his acting career at that point. He had stopped working with Kurosawa at that point, but he had been in other Hollywood movies. He's in a movie with Charles Bronson where he teaches Charles Bronson how to be a samurai. And he was he's in a very popular miniseries, I think, in the early 80s or late 70s around this time called Shogun. That's based off a novel that was very popular.
Yeah, I've heard of Shogun.
I mean, he's essentially was the John Wayne of Japan in a lot of ways.
Right.
And Kurosawa is
you can see him. Oh, go ahead, Cody. I think we're getting choppy again.
Yeah, Kurosawa was very influenced by the westerns of John Ford. And so it's kind of interesting that Kurosawa was very much into the Hollywood films of the time, and then he goes and not only makes Japanese cinema popular for Western audiences, but kind of
Mhm.
is very influential on where Hollywood cinema is now.
Right. Yeah, that like you mentioned the Hollywood. You mentioned them being influenced by like westerns, and you can see that. I just when you said that, I just immediately went to Mandalorian because not only do they have that, you can see the influence in that even,
Oh
and I'm
yeah,
pretty sure that's where they wanted.
well, specifically, I don't know if you were thinking of this, but the spaghetti westerns, the Sergio Leone Man with No Name trilogy, which is a huge influence on The Mandalorian. Yojimbo, a Fistful of Dollars is basically a remake of Yojimbo.
Right, and Lone Wolf and Cub. But yeah, Lone Wolf and Cub is one definitely that was influenced by that. Um, but yeah, you can definitely see the not only the Western but the samurai film influence on um, on the Mando. Not so. I mean, I kind of saw it a little bit in, and I'm still processing Boba Fett. Like it was good, but I mean, it was different. I saw a lot of Dances with Wolves in that one. um, but yeah, you can definitely tell. You can see that they were like, well, George had this influence with A New Hope, so let's take that and go. Let's run with it with our series, like The Mandalorian and Boba Fett, and um, you can kind of see the influence in just the 2 episodes that we've seen of of Kenobi. So you're good. I was just saying that the influence, you can see the spaghetti western and the samurai film influence in in definitely the Mandalorian. I could kind of see it in Boba Fett, and I could see a little bit of it in Kenobi, even like the first 2 episodes of Kenobi.
Oh,
So it's like
it's
they were like, well, we need to go. We need to keep that formula that Lucas had with A New Hope, and let's run with that. And apparently, it's worked because
well, yeah,
they
it's all over the franchise, his influence, and I'll give you some examples. Like besides this movie that we're talking about, which has heavily similar plot themes to A New Hope, they've
right,
referenced the Seven Samurai several times in The Mandalorian and in the Clone Wars. There's basically a Seven Samurai episode.
yes, I remember that.
The character that Mufuni plays in Yojimbo and its sequel Sanjiro is also kind of an influence in The Mandalorian with the Ahsoka episode. Also, when Kenobi chops off that guy's arm in the cantina, that's from Yojimbo, where
Right.
he cuts a guy's arm off. And when they're hiding in the Falcon, that's from the sequel Sanjiro.
Mm-hmm.
The Last Jedi with the different interpretations of what happened. That's Rashomon. And the color of red is used heavily in a movie like his King Lear version of Ren and Kagamushu. I'm probably saying that movie wrong, but that is actually Lucas actually kind of got Kurosawa back on path, like kind of reinvented his career because he executive produced that film for its American distribution.
Yeah. Thank goodness for Lucas being a fanboy, because I went back and watched some of those just interviews and stuff that Lucas has given over the years. Like he did an interview for the Criterion Collection, I think in 2001.
Is it for this
that he
film?
did
Isn't it?
for the release. Yeah, it's for this film, and he was talking about the influence, and John Milius. He said that it wasn't until
And
film school that he got into foreign films, because everywhere else, locally, it was just whatever Blockbuster was, whatever sci-fi or Blockbuster or Western was out at the time, and he wasn't exposed to that. So John Milius is the one who got him exposed to these films, and he's like, well, once I watched the first one, I got hooked, and I had to go back and see all of them. He had to see more, and that right there is the making of a fanboy. He became a huge fanboy, and
no.
But I
like
mean,
you said, later on, it influenced him, and he became a big enough fanboy to reinvigorate his career, and I guess help guys like you and I enjoy those works.
yeah, I think Seven Samurai was the first one I watched of his, and it was like the only one I watched for a long time. But I remember hearing about this movie for years, reading in magazines and talking about like it's one of the influences on Star Wars. And yeah, it's pretty similar. And the thing that Lucas likes about this movie is that it's from the point of view of like peasants or people who aren't of royalty, or to like really they would not be the important people in this story normally, right? They wouldn't be who we are following on this journey.
Aren't they cousins? Are they cousins or peasant, or just like friends?
I don't remember. I've seen this movie 3 times now, but I don't remember like if they're like cousins. I didn't know that they were actually trying to join the fight, and then they just get mistaken. I thought they were like trying to get away from the war.
Right.
But I guess they're trying to make their fortune, and then they get mistaken to be like peasants of the community that these soldiers have raided, that we eventually meet Mifune and the princess character that are in hiding to try and get her to a safe place.
Right. And that's where, if you'll notice also, and he has said this, that's where Lucas got his inspiration for R2 and C-3PO.
Yeah, those two guys.
The Star Wars is supposed to be told from their point of view, which that's one thing after rewatching this. That's one thing that I think that and I wanted to bring up, and I remember thinking about it, but that's one thing that I think Disney left out, was like C-3PO and R2. Like, it is supposed to be told from their point of view, right? And in a way, they are in some way, shape, or form involved. Like, I know C-3PO didn't come in until episode 2, and then 3 a little heavier, and then so on. But R2 is like the main droid, and he just gets shut down, and he's not really there throughout the Disney trilogy, and neither is C-3PO.
Yeah, they become very minor characters in the story, because we have BB-8 in the new ones. He's the new droid.
Right. But I don't know. Maybe that's something else that I felt that they were kind of lacking. That it should have ended from the perspective of those two. Like, and it didn't feel like that happened. But anyway, that's another little fanboy, minor, not really that important gripe from myself. So,
but this influence even goes into non-samurai films. Like, there's an episode of the Clone Wars series where Ahsoka is trying to find her lightsaber, that it's gone missing, and there's a film called Stray Dog where Mifune plays a detective who has misplaced his firearm, and the whole movie is him trying to find out what happened to his weapon. And
Hang on,
then
you're breaking up a little bit.
okay. I don't know. My internet sucks.
Yeah,
I don't know
sorry.
what to tell you. We can try the phone again.
That's why. Well, it's okay. That's why I went off camera to let it.
Maybe that'll help too. Maybe we can just be voices. See if that helps.
Yeah, like I can hear your voice, but every once in a while, like you'll get real pixely, and your voice will pixelate a little bit.
Okay,
well, right now it's fine.
We'll just go no camera. Other films he uses Throne of Blood, which is his Macbeth, his version of Macbeth. It's very much used in Revenge of the Sith. The character Ventress and some of the places, the planet she's from, and names of characters is from that film. Recently, they did an animated series shorts called Visions, and that is all into the Japanese Kurosawa influence. There's several episodes in that series, you can tell.
Man, I haven't watched that yet. I've been wanting to, but I just haven't caught it yet. I heard it's great.
It's great. Well, I loved it because, it was stuff I don't know. It wasn't based in legacy characters. It was just in the world of Star Wars.
Yeah. And that's where I heard that the new trilogy's going. They're like, we need something different. Like, we're done with the Skywalkers.
It only took 9 movies.
Yeah, it only took 9 movies.
I mean, they're all gone. Unless you want to say, well, Rey made herself a Skywalker, which is fine. But, really, it's done.
Right. Yeah, it is. Like, I agree with them. Like, Kathleen Kennedy, that made an announcement. And they were like, well, and they're also done with legacy characters, too, I think.
Well, we do have the Obi-Wan series, which I started up after I finished this movie Friday night, which is kind of cool to kind of watch both.
Right.
And then
I'm enjoying it. So I just don't know how they're going to explain the Obi-Wan Leia thing in a new movie, but they'll. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, your only hope. My father said you served him in the Clone Wars. But wouldn't she know him? Like,
it doesn't seem like she forgets much, even at a very young age.
Yeah, she would remember that.
Yeah.
Being kidnapped.
Dude, yeah, being kidnapped. I'm just saying, from a Star Wars fan, that's one of the things I noticed when I watched it. I'm loving it. It's a great show so far.
There was inconsistencies in the original trilogy from the prequels too, though.
Yeah, there was a whole article. They were like, Obi-Wan fixing plot holes from A New Hope, and I'm like, really? It just created the biggest plot hole.
Just making your own count as fixing the other ones.
Yeah, this is bigger than the plot hole where Vader's a badass in the hallway, and then like he can barely fight in A New Hope. So. But, like I thought the whole Leia thing was a bigger plot hole than that. Anyway, that's a whole nother story, guys. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get off on that.
Well, funny story. Jessica's like, "Oh, you can watch that without me." And I was watching the second episode yesterday, and she's like, "Well, who's that little girl?" I was like, "Well, who do you think it is?" And she's like, "Well, now I want to watch it if they're gonna have little Luke and Leia in here." I was like, "Well."
Dude, what a time to be alive. We're getting brand new Star Wars shows. We're getting brand new Star Trek that has been kicking ass. And we've got just so much great stuff.
Well, the nerds inherited the earth.
But you know what? We lived through that. We got to see that come into fruition, because I remember even when I had when my uncle and I had the comic book shop, this was 2007, 8, and 9. And the first Iron Man movie had just come out. Not only Iron Man, there was let's see, we did premieres for the Iron Man movie, the Hulk movie, 30 Days of Night.
Did you do the Dark Knight?
God, so many. Yeah, we did one for the Dark Knight, but people were coming in. They're like, "Hey, we got to have these books now," or can you order me this action figure or statue or whatever? So, but seeing all these movies like within that 3-year span was actually incredible. And then after that, like when I left and came back to Rust, this show called what's the show? Stop watching. Got old. Bunch of nerds and Penny and
the Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory had just come on.
Yeah, it did.
Like,
oh man,
things were not as nerdy as they were. Like they were still on that. It was still on that cusp, but like it hadn't gone over the edge yet, and it was weird. Like we got to see that. We got to see, and now it seems like kids are just born into it.
Well,
your kids are.
Yeah,
I think Iron Man really started it, and then I think by the time the Avengers came out, that first Avengers movie, it was like, all right, it's cool now.
Yeah, no, really, that's but it's incredible when you think about it. It's like an old person.
It's also when social media really kicked off, and everybody. It was weird to not have it finally.
Yeah.
Well, that's. I guess there were some people that had phones that could use social media in like the late 2000s, but really it was the 2010s when like everyone has the internet in their pocket now,
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah,
and that's how you find out that there are more nerds in your area than you were previously.
I was a holdout, like on new phones. I was still using my slide out phone with a keyboard, which I think was nice.
That thing would probably still work if you had a battery for it, to be honest.
That thing was cool.
That thing clunks around in our kids' toy box, so
No, I take that back. No, because I had just gone up to I was still using a Razor phone. That's right.
Oh, goodness.
I was using a Razor phone up until the point like I dropped it for the 1200th time out of my pocket, and it finally
snapped in half like a piece of paper.
No, I think it just quit. No, it was still working.
We sound like old people right now. I want you to be really aware of how back in my day we're doing this thing.
Anyway.
Back in my day, I had to make time to get on social media.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Now I have to make time to get away from it, to take a break.
Or, man, I'm going to put this kick-ass song on my MySpace.
MySpace? And this is my MySpace page theme right now.
Yeah.
Remember ranking your friends?
Yep, you ranked your friends.
Goodness gracious, wasn't that just like a hotbed of high school drama forever?
How am I not in your top 8?
Why is Tom in your top 8 and I'm not? That's hurtful.
Well, poor Tom. Seems like he's an okay dude.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't run any popular social media pages anymore.
Nope. He didn't get a movie made about him.
Right. I'm surprised. Tom, the story. Well,
this is a beautiful movie, and we're talking about it right now.
Yeah.
That's where we were.
Are there any other movies that you want to mention, Cody? We just recently watched. Now, please forgive me, because, again, I'm probably going to get this title mixed up. I have been getting it mixed up. Everything. Everywhere, all at once.
Yep, that's the movie. It's amazing. Okay.
Yes, it is.
That movie was kick-ass. It was not what I was expecting, but it was awesome. I love that. I want to go back and watch it again. I don't think I can right now. Like, I still need time to process it, but I do want to go back and watch it again.
Okay, so what are your guys' thoughts on this? Because I've heard two different opinions. One person says they felt like they threw in all the emotional drama and family dynamics to make it a little more meaty, but they wanted to make like a multiverse movie because we live in this kind of day and age. But another person who really liked the movie is like, no, I think they wanted to make this family drama about a mother-daughter relationship. And they're like, but we want it to be wildly original and bold. But we got to put like all this other stuff in there so people will be like, oh, yeah, I'll watch that because of where we live now in the culture of film.
I thought it was a sweet movie. I really did. I thought it had a good message about
Do you think
acceptance.
the sweet message was the point and all the other stuff was
to
get people to watch it?
Do
we have to be tricked into the therapy movies now? They were
okay,
like, look, it looks like Doctor Strange.
This is the way that my brain went into it. I went into it like, oh, this is a family drama and all of this crazy stuff is happening around it. Not all this crazy stuff is happening and then here's a little family drama. Does that make sense?
That's where I'm on the edge of. I think they wanted to make a family drama, but they wanted to have something in there to like entice people. And like they said, if they couldn't get Michelle Yeoh, this movie wasn't going to happen.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, every one of them sold that movie. Good on them.
Good.
Every one of them deserve an Oscar. Really.
All of the Oscars.
And I'm not saying that lightly. Like every one of them. James Hong.
It does feel though. It feels like they made it. They were like, nobody's gonna watch this movie, but like mothers and daughters. If we don't have,
I think it was an adult version of Turning Red, almost like.
Oh well, those movies are both very similar, and two of the best movies of the year, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah, so I think it was an amazing, visually stunning, original movie.
Absolutely.
I haven't even seen Doctor Strange yet, and I already know that even after I watch Doctor Strange and I fanboy about that, and I know it's going to be really great.
It's not going to be as good as this movie.
Deep down, I'll know that this movie was better because it's original and the way they use the concept and the visuals alone, and everyone's acting, and it was just great.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal film. I believe it's available digitally, so seek it out if you haven't seen it. It's well worth the $5 or $6 it costs to rent because I don't think it's a $20 rental anymore.
Yeah, definitely check it out. Like if you want something original and new and you're just...
If you want to be tricked into thinking about your feelings and your relationships with your parents.
Yeah.
If you have time for that one afternoon, watch this movie.
But yeah. And let Short Round take over Indy's place. It's the next logical step, guys. Let him come back and take the Indy role and let him have some adventures, and I would watch that. I would be 100%.
Want to see an Indiana Jones movie with an actor who wasn't absolutely sick of being Indiana Jones.
Right.
Well, I actually think Harrison Ford loves being Indiana Jones. That's why he came back to do another one.
Yeah, that's his character. That's his favorite.
Oh, so he just didn't want to be anybody but Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's not into the Han Solo.
He didn't want to kill off Indy. He wanted to kill off Han. So.
Ouchie, ouch, ouch.
Which is fine. I mean, they're both of those characters are Spielberg's and Lucas's sons. I mean, one of them can die, and Indy's their favorite. So.
Aww.
Yeah, Indy's all three of their favorite, and Han is, I'm sure Spielberg's like, oh yeah, good buddy, good for you, whatever. I'm sure Lucas is like, no, I want to keep Han, and then and then Harrison is like, nah, let's kill this mofo. Like I'm tired of him. I will completely devote to Indy though. So. But yeah, anyway, that's my stance. Let that dude take over Indy's spot, and he better have a cameo in the new movie, especially after after this movie came out.
That would be nice. I don't know if that's going to happen because I think they were filming this before that movie came out.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, Cody, that's those are my thoughts.
Well, what are your thoughts on this movie specifically? Because we've been kind of talking about everything everywhere.
Right. I really love this movie. It is a beautifully shot movie. And if you're looking for it, you can definitely see the influence.
I don't think you even have to look that hard. It's pretty.
Yeah, I mean, you don't.
I mean, it's pretty there. I mean, at least the standard plot is there, right? These two bumbling people get involved in a plot to save a princess, and
C-3PO and R2.
There's even a duel with the general with another general guy who's like his rival. Yeah, right. So it's pretty similar, but yeah, I mean, all of Kurosawa's films are beautifully shot. You know, you joke about Connery having the confidence to wear his Zarda's outfit. I raise you a Toshiro Mifune, and you would not make fun of that man for what he's wearing in this movie.
No, especially that scene where they're like, where's that? Where he's sticking the swords in the ground? Like,
yeah,
they're getting ready.
Oh yeah,
like he's getting ready and he's putting all those. That reminded me of Conan too.
I also love the plot that they like have to pretend they're part of that town's ritual to try and hide their identities. And they totally know the dance. How'd they learn it so fast?
Right.
Movie magic, baby.
Yeah, movie magic. But I enjoy this. I don't know if I enjoy this more than Seven Samurai, but
well, I mean, the Seven Samurai is just an epic and one of the greatest movies ever made that they keep remaking.
Right.
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I mean, they've even made the famous remake into a remake.
Yeah. I like it. I enjoy it. I urge people to pick it up and watch it, especially if you're a Star Wars fan. And even if you're not, just to appreciate the filmmaking and the quality of this for being an older movie. It's great. It's an epic. This has made me want to go and watch his other
Star
movies.
Wars, but not watch a movie you've seen a million times and you turn on for background noise. Watch this movie.
Yeah, like that. I want to go watch his other films now.
Watch the movie that inspired
I urge you to. There's still... I've only seen about 11 or 12 of them, so there's still a lot I need to see. But yeah, this isn't particularly one of my favorites. It's a lot of fun. This is more of a fun movie for me than like, oh, this is a great movie.
Right.
But yeah, you can clearly see the Star Wars influence in this, like everything. And even like she's very much like a Princess Leia. Like, you don't tell me what to do. I'm gonna do what I want. I'm gonna do the right thing and save people.
Instead of being like a limp, frilly prop in a hero's epic journey that just gets rescued and carried around from place to place.
Aren't you a little short to be a samurai?
Well, and they even have that great character that she forces Mifune to like save and sell from that gross guy that's running the inn or whatever.
Right.
And she becomes her own kind of badass.
Heck yeah, ladies kicking ass.
Yeah, in 1957, when that was not really happening in movies.
Yeah, at that, because they have even back then there was just a whole different culture between the men and the women. The women were expected to act a certain way. I'm no expert on this, people. It's just what I've seen in documentaries and film and read and stuff. So,
I mean,
there was just a different time, and
there is one gross scene that kind of makes these guys not likable characters, but it gets shut down like immediately. because that other lady starts throwing rocks at them.
Right. I guess I missed that part, Cody, because I may have gotten to grab a drink.
I totally forgot it was in the movie, but there's a scene where the princess is sleeping, and I forget what Mifune goes off to go do, and they're like, "Oh, let's draw sticks, and whoever gets the shorter or longer one can have some private time." And then before that even anything happens, that other lady's throwing rocks at them.
Oh, okay.
You were doing a lot of like face paint stuff, so I don't know what you might have missed through your ice pack on your face.
But yeah, that's the only thing I was like, oh, but like it was shut down. And I mean, they're mostly comic relief because like they're arguing over how much they're gonna share, blah blah, and then they even try to like turn them in, but nobody believes them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did that. You can definitely, and again, that's the dynamic. That's the C-3PO R2 dynamic with the.
Well, there's even the scene where they get in an argument and they separate, right? That happens in Star Wars, right? When they land on Tatooine. Like C-3PO doesn't want to do what R2, and R2's like, man, I'm on a mission.
I got stuff to do.
Yeah, bye.
But yeah, this is an incredibly well-made film. I mean, Kurosawa was a master, literally, and he's mostly known for samurai movies. He did a lot of them, but he also did noir movies. He did dramas. He did a lot of things, but yeah, these are great movies. Mifune should be as legendary as any of our mythic Western heroes. I guess he is, but right. I would put him up there as the John Wayne or Clint Eastwood of Japan.
Yeah, there's a little montage that I watched of his, like, just different fight scenes and stuff, and I was gonna post it on the site, but it's like it shows him like throughout his career, and you can definitely tell in his younger years he was like the leading man, and you are correct in that comparison with like John Wayne, with him or Clint Eastwood, even like with going from the leading man to the gruffer older leading man, but they're still going to put him in everything because he is, he's a badass or whatever. And I'm not saying John Wayne was a badass; he was kind of
his film persona was a badass. Not we don't have to get into John Wayne's personal life or his politics,
right.
But like,
I was trying not to go there.
But his mythic status as a movie star, and you know it because either your parents or your grandparents like have him on this pedestal of that like most movie stars don't even get. Like he had some sort of power over the baby boomer and generation before.
Yeah.
He was their Superman.
Right.
And Mifune did 16 movies with Kurosawa. They did 16 films together.
Well, when you like somebody or you work well with somebody, why not? That's that Johnny Depp. They beat Johnny Depp and
I was trying to think of like Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes.
Yeah. No, this one got some movies left in them.
What kind of movies are you trying to get out of them, Christopher? They're old. Leave them alone.
Lunchbox and Snoogans ain't going away anytime soon.
It's nice to see people who like where your friendship culminates in like a great body of work together that you can point to and say, "We did this."
Right.
Look
it's
at
like
this.
Adam Sandler putting all his buddies in his movies. When you see an Adam Sandler movie come out,
at least 5 other people are going to be in it.
It's going to have a certain group of people in it, which I will.
Isn't that the joke about British actors though? It's like you're either in Harry Potter or you're in Doctor Who, but there's like
You can't be in both. I think there's some people that have done
No,
both.
there's like it's like a joke about like, have you been in both, or are you only in one?
Or Sherlock Holmes, or one of their one of their many Victorian masterbook theater.
He's not British, but I think he's gonna end up being in all the franchises as Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. He was in Marvel. He was in
Star Wars. He's in Harry Potter. He's in James Bond. He's gonna be in Indiana Jones.
What kind of bingo card is he trying to black out? Jeez.
Put that dude in Star Trek.
Hurry, quick, before something happens.
Put that dude in Star Trek, and then what was the other one?
I guess he's got to do a DC movie, right?
Yeah, DC, Star Trek, and DC, and that dude will be all powerful.
He's going to have all the Infinity Stones, and then he's going to snap.
You'll have all the nerds.
And it will just be a universe of him. Every citizen will be him.
That's his plan. That is his secret plan. And
we caught him out.
I think we just unearthed something big, guys.
It's a conspiracy.
Oh, he's Hannibal Lecter, too.
Yeah, and Hannibal, holy shit.
Yeah.
That dude,
he's done it all.
Some Stranger Things stuff going on. Watch him be involved with Russians, and then it's really going to get out of hand.
We have to put the tinfoil away, Christopher.
So is Seven Samurai the only other one you've seen?
You know, like in name, yes. And I know I have seen a jumbled up just array of films that I can't remember. So if I ever do start watching them, I might recognize some. And these are, again, this is stuff that I would catch on TV back in the day. They'd have like samurai movie marathons and just random. So yeah, I mean, I guess technically yes.
It's the only one you recall seeing.
It's the only one I can fully recall seeing. You know.
Well, that's obviously one I would recommend. Maybe if you don't want to start with the 3.5 hour epic, maybe this is a good one to get into. Yojimbo would be a good one.
Right.
Which is another very hugely popular. That's probably the second most influential film
of his. Wolf and Cub is really great too.
What is that?
Lone Wolf and Cub.
Oh, that's not Kurosawa, but that's a very influential samurai franchise. That's a 5-movie franchise, though.
Right, but it's good stuff.
It's good stuff.
If you want to go a little cheesy, like Enter the Dragon, I like all that stuff too. So I like Bruce Lee movies and.
Well, that's a different genre, though. Similar.
It is. That's a whole different genre. That's a whole different bag of ramen there, but good stuff. I mean,
are you saying that because it's cheesy?
Not really. I mean, yeah, it's cheese. It's cheesy, but it's like a good cheese, and they're still influential in that genre of filmmaking. Like,
well, I mean, we wouldn't have all those cheesy guys from the 80s if it wasn't for Bruce Lee.
Oh man, that's right.
Ooh, and don't
miss out on some really good bad films.
Don't forget Cynthia Rothrock. Hey, she was a badass. She is a badass, still doing stuff, but
another one I would recommend of Kurosawa's, if you want to see kind of like why Japanese cinema has become popular, I would say watch Rashomon, which isn't really so much a samurai movie. It does feature samurais, but it's what it does. It's a trope we see time and time again where you're getting the different perspectives of one event.
Right.
And then if you're a big Shakespeare nut, you love Shakespeare, then I would recommend Throne of Blood and Ran, because those are him doing a Japanese interpretation of those plays. It's Macbeth and King Lear.
That's cool. Yeah, I want to check that out too.
Oh yeah, it's a bevy of cinema to check out. If they were going to make a Mount Rushmore of directors, I'm sure he would be one of the ones you put up there.
Right. And the fact that all these guys that we love, like, you know, their movies and who have influenced us in some way,
We're
you know,
influenced by him. Yes.
are fanboys of his, and then Lucas is the biggest one.
Well, I think John
I don't
Mullis
think biggest.
is a bigger fanboy, but yeah, Lucas definitely, it made an
Well,
impact on him.
Milius introduced Lucas to,
Kurosawa.
you know,
Yeah.
Kurosawa and that genre. So good for him, you know, good for Milius, because that influenced Lucas and gave us the franchise that we love so much. So,
But yeah, I urge you to watch a lot of these movies, especially if you're a Star Wars fan, and just notice the similarities of like that's in there, because it's obvious when you start like looking at it and you're like, oh wow, there is a lot of Japanese influence in Star Wars.
I got it.
right. We have a sick puppy. Sorry about that. We had to
No,
jump
it's good.
Sick doggy. My dots in doggy years is pushing like 90 something, and she's getting really frail and just not getting around like she used to. But anyway, yes, highly recommend checking this out. Check out the other films that Cody mentioned. Thank you, Cody, for being way more versed in this than I am.
Well, I don't want to brag, but I wrote a whole paper on The Mandalorian and its influence from this. So, like, last year at this time, I was like all up and up on like all the different references because of all the different material I was reading and stuff about like its impact on Star Wars.
Right. And that's awesome.
And if you have HBO Max, a lot of these films are streaming, like especially the more popular ones. So definitely Seven Samurai, definitely Yojimbo. This one is Throne of Blood. You even got some more obscure stuff on there right now. Like I'm gonna try and watch one of the ones I haven't seen before. But like Rashomon's on there too. There's a really beautiful film I just watched for the first time this year called Aikiru, which is not a samurai movie, but it's a movie about a guy that finds out he's dying. He's a government employee, and he decides to like make a difference and do something good in the world. And it's just a really poignant, beautiful film about like how like we spend too much of our time like just existing and getting by without actually doing anything.
Right. Well, sounds like I'll have to check that one out too.
Yeah. He truly was a master, and it's great that his work lives on, even if it's in a fantasy sci-fi franchise.
Right. And I think I'm a bigger fan now. Like that has spurred me to go and I have a list right next to me, and I'm going to go check these films out because they just, you know, beautiful stuff.
Well, if you watch Yojimbo, I want you to go and then watch A Fistful of Dollars and then tell me like how similar A Fistful of Dollars is to Yojimbo.
Ooh, you know, it's funny you mentioned that because I've been wanting to do Westerns too. Oh, you know what might be an interesting combination, Cody, is if we did do, I know we're going into the summer of 82, but at some point it would be interesting to pick a samurai film and then pick a Western.
Yeah, because they are similar tropes, similar stories. I mean, like, those are their Westerns, you know. The
Right.
samurai and the cowboy in cinema is similar.
Right. But I think that would be really interesting to do is to pair films and watch them back to back and compare them. and do shows on that. That'd be pretty cool, I think.
We should do that sometime. But yeah, next week we are kicking off our Summer of 82 series. I believe we're going to be mostly doing them on Saturdays instead of Sundays. And this coming up, we're starting with Conan the Barbarian.
Yes, I am. I am ready for Conan. So I like the Arnold Conan, even the second movie, even though it wasn't really well received and it was a little odd, but maybe we'll touch on that. But yeah, I like Conan, so I'm excited.
All right, well, everybody enjoy the rest of your Sunday. If you have this extended time off, enjoy that, whatever you're doing, and have a great day. Stay cool because this heat is coming back today.
Yes, a nice 91, but I'm sure it's going to feel warmer than that. So,
and I don't know if it'll go away this time.
No, I looked at the extended forecast, so there's no rain, just up in the 90s. So fun. We're getting into that time.
Well, I'm glad you guys like this movie, and I'm glad I could show you something a little different than what we normally talk about.
Right, and Cody, thanks for joining. And
absolutely,
yeah, I guess we'll see you guys next week. Let's get the synth music out and your knee-high socks and the cutoffs, and yeah, just get ready. I'm excited. So, all right, guys, we'll see you guys later.
All right, bye. Come on now.